Everybody, it's your girl Sheila, and I'm here to vent, y'all. Literally vent today. Vent, vent, vent. So, if y'all want to hear some venting, you're in the right place. These articles, y'all, and I've been knowing something's been going on. I got my 9-year-old granddaughter over here, y'all, because we found out with her what's going on per firsthand. Now we see it's not just here; it's all not just in Alabama, y'all. The education it's broken. It is broken. It is broken. Teachers are quitting all over through the school systems, or they're either retiring early just to get out of the school systems. Is so bad. And then they're talking about high schoolers. They cannot read. They cannot comprehend basic words. Come on now. What is going on? What is going on? Um, Let me go to, because I wanna go back to this video. They first mentioned it about in Alabama, and then you know how when you listen to one, they link you to something else, and then I was linked to another video. Let me let me see. I caught myself trying to save it so y'all can hear it, but I think I need to look at my history here. Um, Let me look at my history. Mm-mm-mm. Let's see. Okay. Oh yeah, here it is. The first one I looked at, it says I just couldn't do it. Alabama teachers, they're just quitting everywhere. We're here in Alabama. Uh, we thought it was like a one school thing. It could be. It's a state thing, but it's not just a state thing in Alabama. It's a state thing all over. Because then I saw an article that says high schoolers can't read. High schoolers, y'all, that cannot read, cannot understand basic conversations. One teacher in this article, it really hit home. She said that she couldn't even communicate with her students because they couldn't even understand what she was saying. And for y'all parents out there that have kids, if they're reading, make sure that they're comprehending what they're reading, not just words. Just saying that, oh, my child can read and they're just reading words, that is not comprehending. That's not educating their mind just by reading words. Make sure they have a dictionary. We make sure our 9-year-old granddaughter has a dictionary. And we tell her all the time because it starts at home. You can't expect our kids to get out there in the world with the teachers and stuff and that they're going to stop everything they have to do to put in with these kids what they should have learned in kindergarten, first grade, second grade. And now these kids are in high school and they don't even know how to spell basic words. They don't even know the meaning of basic words. What is this? I come from a genre, from a generation where it was all about education. Teachers cared about you. They didn't just put you through to a grade. They didn't just push you through and push you through and let you be somebody else's problem. Now you got kids in high school that cannot read. When they get out of high school and they graduate, still, oh my goodness, one lady talked about a valedictorian of her school, a valedictorian, and the valedictorian sued her school because she could not read. How can a person be a valedictorian and they cannot read? How? How? Pray tell me. Our system has fallen through the cracks. I've always said they're dumbing down our kids. They're dumbing down education. I just thank God that my 31-year-olds was in a time when school was still thought of being school. Now kids don't even bring books home. Teachers are just teaching tests. They're not teaching anything else but testing. I just don't understand. I don't understand. So parents, y'all stay vigilant on your kids. Do not rely on the school systems to teach your kids. They have enough to deal with in the school systems. That's to say the least, okay? But I want y'all to listen to this one. This one really
Our
struck
students
home.
cannot read at grade level. As a music
This one in particular, it really struck home. Let me see if I can find her.
I know all last week, all over social media, you saw nothing but teachers talking about how elementary and middle school kids are reading 4 years below grade level. Well, as a high school teacher, I'm here to inform you that high school kids are doing way worse. They are reading 6 years below grade level. The only difference is a whole heap of these kids are going to graduate at the end of this school year. And we are expecting them to go to college and obtain jobs when they cannot even comprehend basic skills, which is why we probably see a problem with employers finding employees. There are literally high school kids reading on a 3rd grade reading level, and still states are expecting teachers to prepare kids and have them pass state tests are on or above grade level. See, the issue is schools have dumbed it down for kids. They have made it so easy that kids believe that their only job is to show up and behave. And that should be enough to get a passing grade and to go on to the next grade level. We have a real issue here. And please do not talk to me about graduation rates, because Bugs Bunny could graduate in this era. Make it make sense.
Spell philosophy.
Yeah, then this father had his son
16, he's 17.
and nephew, 16 and 17 years old, to sell philosophy. Neither one of them couldn't spell philosophy. They started spelling it with an F, y'all. An F.
Keep on.
Yeah.
I'm curious.
So I'm just gonna pass through that, but it was ridiculous.
Discussed this year, and I feel like if you can break something down enough that a 5, 6, 7-year-old knows it, then you understand the material. So today a student came to me and showed me his book, and it was on ecological succession. I'm a science teacher. But as I'm reading it, it's talking about money and like paying taxes and all this stuff. And I'm like, what does ecological succession mean to you? Because I think something's missing here. And he's like adamant. He's like, this is ecological succession. Yes, we talk about money. I've learned about money in here. Like, we talk about money all the time. And I'm like, in science? Child, you know what this boy was trying to say? Do you know what he Googled? He thought ecological succession was economical succession. He wrote a children's book about economical succession and taxes of the government.
Did you know that in 2022, 67% of 4th graders scored below a proficiency level in reading? There are so many kids out there that are being passed along in the system that cannot read.
You hear that?
Reading is a part of everyday life. And the fact that we are failing these children says a lot about America's educational system. We are worried about the wrong things right now. We are focused on the wrong things right now. At this point, this is not solely a teacher problem. Parents need to take accountability. They need to help their kids. We are doing what we can with the time that we are given. So many people underestimate all of the things that teachers have to do. Yes, of course our job is to help your students, and we do that. By the end of 3rd grade, I'm no longer teaching those basic phonics skills. That's where you have to step in as a parent. Advocate for your kid. There are so many parents that don't know what they're capable of doing. Inform yourself. You have so many resources available to you.
I wanted to just spend a moment and tell people why I left the system. You know, I'm a former English teacher. Oh my God. And a lot of my videos when I first started on TikTok talked about the school system and what was happening in the school system. So I made a decision to retire. And I have retired. I literally have left. I'm done, you know. And I'll tell you why. It hurt me and it pained me to go into my classroom, present a book or present a text, and my kids didn't know the first thing about reading comprehension. My kids did not know the first thing about a literary discussion. My kids didn't know the first thing about a Socratic discussion. My kids didn't know the first thing about essential questions that are tied to the literature that we were reading. So I couldn't have a content-specific conversation with my kids because my kids didn't know content-specific vocabulary. And if you don't know the vocabulary attached to English, just like if you don't know it attached to math, you're not going to do well in that subject. So I left literally in tears because I knew that I was seeing the failing of the school system in the United States of America, because I knew going forward unless something happens, I would never be able to enjoy a literary conversation with my students because my students could not read. I was teaching kids that were 3 to 4 grade levels behind. None of them understood what I was saying. And this is every school. This is not just one school. This
She's
is
having
every school that
conversations
I
with them.
worked at.
They're not
They
understanding what
did
she was
not
saying.
understand any literature. They didn't understand the vocabulary words attached to the literature, and they didn't
And they don't
understand
comprehend
the
because they don't know
figurative language
what the word
devices that were
means.
used and why they were used. They didn't have any understanding about the author. They didn't have any understanding why an author put a flashback or why this particular genre was allegory. They didn't understand any of those things. So for me to even be in a school system that perpetrated and fronted and pretended like, oh, well, you know, our kids are smart. No, they're not. They are smart, but they're not literally smart. And I think that that's what the part that hurt me the most, knowing that moving forward, I would not be able to enjoy that unless I opened up my own school, or unless we got rid of these state standardized assessments that don't allow teachers to teach, but we only teach the test, and that's why I left. So parents, if you come across this video, read to your kids and let your kids read back to you. And more than anything, ask your kids, do you understand what you just read? And have a discussion.
And don't we do that with you?
Elementary school kids are not reading. Kids are not reading. Kids cannot read. It doesn't matter if your child's at an A school or if your child's at a D school or if your child's at a charter school or a private school. I have seen kids at all areas. They all struggle. They all struggle because they don't have exposure and they don't have consistency with reading. We can blame the Department of Education. We can blame the literacy rates being at an all-time high. We can blame the schools, the teachers. Education teacher of 4 years, I specifically teach kids with learning disabilities how to read and to read accurately. We're not talking about teaching kids to read with special education disabilities. We're talking about teaching kids to read that have not had that exposure and that just cannot read, and no environmental factors included. Exposure and consistency. These two things are most important when reading, and these kids are not exposed to reading at a young age, and they do not have consistent reading, whether that's at school, at home. They don't have enough exposure of reading in general. Perception of teaching kids to read is it is the teacher's job to teach their children to read. It is the school's job to teach their children to read. Have you been in a public education classroom recently? Teacher to student ratio makes it nearly impossible to differentiate all different reading levels consistently. And I'm talking every single day for targeted reading instruction. You can have the most experienced and most knowledgeable reading expert teaching your child. If you are not doing it consistently, and I mean at least 4 times a week, 15 to 20 minutes a session, it's not going to be effective. If you have elementary school kids that are reading at grade level or even below grade level, get them a tutor, get them extra support to give them those skills to have them be successful with reading. Reading is not meant to be natural, but you need consistency, exposure, and somebody that is qualified and knows the science of reading for it to be successful for any child in a short amount of time.
A language arts teacher is considering quitting her job because her 10th grade students don't know how to read. The New Jersey-based teacher shared in her Reddit post that the last couple of years have been very stressful, but the straw that broke the camel's back was realizing that her 10th grade students couldn't read at grade level. In fact, they could barely read at all. They were reading 2nd and 3rd grade level books like Charlotte's Web and Bridge to Terabithia. She turned to other teachers at her school for advice, but it turns out they were dealing with the same thing. In desperation, this teacher said, "I'm at a loss." Parents are mad that their kids are failing, but there's not much she can do, especially when it comes to student behavior, because students are rude, always on their phones, and destructive. She believes the issue is students lacking the desire to learn and a system and country that doesn't believe in education. For years, other countries have been outperforming the U.S. education system. Author and parenting expert John Fogel said on TikTok that school in the United States is not set up with kids in mind. The country with the global reputation for having the best education model is Finland, and it's because they put their kids first. They don't teach to tests. Teachers are given carte blanche to actually teach. Not only that, there's no homework, the school day is shorter, and there are more breaks during the day. We're to a point where the entire education system in the U.S. needs to be revamped in order for teachers and students to succeed. The kids are getting lost in the mix, and teachers suffer the collateral damage. It may seem like options are limited for parents in our current system, but parents can get involved. Vote in school board elections, get involved in state government, and join the PTA. And most importantly, do whatever you can to advocate for your kids and support your teachers.
When we see scores that 70% of 8th graders can't read at grade level and read proficiently. And that actually, when you go into high school, you see that same percentage. And do you know there was a graduate in Hartford, Connecticut? She graduated valedictorian of her class. She sued her school because she couldn't read, but yet she was valedictorian.
It's unbelievable
That's an incredible thing.
Because they get money for just matriculating the students. They don't care if they're actually learning.
And that's just, it's reprehensible.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Also forgot some high schoolers can.
And you have to take the initiative, and like we tell you all the time, take an initiative when you have free time. Get your book and read it. And how many times do you take the initiative to just get you a book and read without us telling you to get a book? You don't. And that's why when you first got here in January and you going through the cycle, you couldn't comprehend anything. You didn't know how to use a dictionary. You didn't know how you knew how to read words, but you didn't know what none of those words meant. And that's what we've been going over and over and over and over with you, because reading is fundamental. Reading has always been fundamental. Reading is number one. And not just reading, but comprehending what you read. You can read words all day, but until you know what those words mean, you can't put it together. And that's why we tell you, when you get that book, read the book, write down words you don't understand or you don't know. You got your dictionary, look it up. Write the word down, write the definition to that word, and make a sentence out of that word, and the sentence has to make sense. We're preparing you, and it starts at home. I don't care you send your kids to school and expect a school system to educate your child. No, education starts at home. Don't rely on them people at school. They're going to do what they need to do, but they got 20, 30 kids in their classroom. They're not going to cater to just your one child. They're not going to do that. You got kids that don't even know how to sound out words to make sentences in middle school and high school. Ain't nobody going to teach them how to sound out words and pronounce words and get them definitions of basic vocabulary. They ain't got time for that. That's why they quit. That's why teachers leaving. You can't pay them enough for doing that. They should have already obtained that information when they was in first, second, and third. Now you got your kids in fourth, fifth, sixth grade in probably a kindergarten level. You got them in high school in a second and third grade level. I just don't understand. And parents need to be active in PTA, be active in school, be active with the teachers. Exchange numbers with the teachers. Find out what your kids doing every day in school, and go on spot, go in there and check on your child.
At least that's what I'm doing every day in school.
But to hear about all these kids that's in the school system that cannot read, and not just cannot read, but when you talk to them in basic English, they don't even know what you're saying because they don't know the words. They can't comprehend. And the kids are our future. Some of them can't even add. They're in high school. Can't even add.
In high school, they should be doing like...
You at a grade now, you should have no problem adding, subtracting, multiplying. No problem. You should be so fluent in it. But you're not. And that's why we work hard with you at home. We don't want you to get out there in the world and have to struggle because you didn't learn the basics. There's a disconnect, y'all. I'm homeschooling my little 4-year-old. She gonna be ready when she go to school. All this stuff they doing now, they're playing school. Don't let them play school with your child. It's real life. Because after school, they gotta get out there in the real world. And if they're not prepared for the real world, what do you think is gonna happen? What? Yeah. What do you think gonna happen? We have to prepare our kids. And what's going on now with the Department of Education, it's definitely not a benefit for our kids. Since when you have kids, don't bring no books home at all. Don't bring any books home at all. You don't ever see them studying, because what are they going to study? They don't bring books home. They start a form about being responsible for books, but they never bring the books home.
I bring homework. In person every Monday, I bring homework.
When I was in school, when my kids was in school, We were so weighted down with book bags. We had a science book, social studies book, an English book, math book. We had books that we had to check out from the library that we had to do book reports on. Them kids don't bring nothing home. You don't know what they're working on in school. They used to have assignments, having to learn poems, having to be able to recite, do book reports. You got kids now can't even make a paragraph. They can't make a sentence make sense. They can't make a sentence make sense. How can you make a paragraph? Paragraph consists of 5 sentences. 5 sentences. And you can't start for the first sentence to the last sentence and make it all come together. Like baking a cake. What do you do before you bake a cake? You gotta get all the ingredients. That's the first thing you do. Get all the ingredients first. What's the last thing you do? Take it out of the oven. You gotta be able to make a story of what starts at the beginning and to the end, and it has to make sense. And it has to be in that chronological order. These kids can't do that. And for the ones that is doing it, kudos to the parents. Kudos to the parents or whoever's raising them because they're doing them right. And my kids in school and they came home with no homework. Guess what? They had Sheila homework. And my granddaughter sitting beside me now. I gave her a hint about what she's doing with her time. She go get a book. She's still sitting beside me. Wouldn't go get no book or nothing. Don't take the initiative. These kids are not taking the initiative. They have opportunities. They have to also take on them opportunities. So you need to exit my presence, go in there and get you a book, and do what I just said you needed to do. Because we talked about that earlier today. When your granddaddy told you to, he ain't seen you pick up a book at all this weekend. Now you get in there, you get that book, and tell granddaddy exactly what I just told you. Understand? Understand? All right. One thing I don't do, I don't play by education. We just had a conversation with my granddaughter this morning about this whole weekend. Now, one time that she had an opportunity to pick up a book, did she take and willingly pick up a book on her own? We have to tell her. If that's what you got to do it. Until they know it's their responsibility to help educate their mind. Starts at home. We put God in them. Make sure they know about God. Make sure they know about their work. Life ain't all about having fun, y'all. Life is not about having fun. Plenty of time to have fun. Life really happens out here, y'all. Let me look at this comment, y'all. Life really happens. Oop, I'm losing my grapes. Hello, everybody. I'm on my patio. Oh, it's dark out here. But we gotta do the best we can to help our kids, y'all. And it's on us. It's on us. As parents. It's on us. So yeah, I went to bed a little bit, but it was so crazy coming out first reading it. It was like everything was coming. I first saw the story they had written about Alabama, but then all these other states start popping up. So it's a problem. It is a problem. Hey, Fox World. Yes, it is growing. But it's true. I mean, you got some good teachers out there. The teacher that my granddaughter has now this year, from when we talked to her at open house, we could tell that she has the same mentality of teaching the way we were taught and the way my kids was taught, just by the things that she was implementing in her classroom, y'all. So there are good teachers. There are still good teachers out here. But we have to do our part at home. The teachers are supposed to help the child get to the next level. Not have to go back 3 and 4 years to get them to that level. No, something is broken. Something happened. The chain is broken, y'all. When you have a child, because when I was trying to, when I was starting, because I do a lot of tutoring, I do homeschool, I do a lot of stuff. And when I was working with my 3rd grade granddaughter at the time to get her ready for summer, my summer camp, so I had my PromoSTK summer camp, and I tutored during my camp. I had 2 kindergartners that's going to the 1st grade that I tutored. And of course, I was tutoring my 4-year-old, and I'm going to tutor her until she gets ready to walk into the 1st grade, okay? So right now, she's technically in pre-K, but she's on a 1st grade level, even now, in my pre-K. Because I was training her and tutoring her when I was with the 5-year-olds that was going that was turning 6, that was going into the 1st grade. Always elevate up. Don't dummy down, elevate up. So that's what I was doing with her. So I said, okay, Azoria is in the 3rd grade, going into the 4th. So now let me get some materials to help her to go from the 3rd grade into the 4th grade. That's when I noticed a disconnect. Because stuff that she should have known in the 3rd grade, she didn't know. So I'm like, okay, so now how far I gotta go back to see where the disconnect came? So I literally had to, like the teachers that you hear that was talking in that video, you gotta go back to from her going from 3rd to 4th grade, you gotta go back to 1st grade at this point. Because my granddaughter told me she's never done reading comprehension. And I'm like, that's no way possible. Because they do reading comprehension in kindergarten. They do reading comprehension in 1st grade. When I talk to you and I'm telling you stuff, you comprehend. Same way you're reading, you comprehend. You watch a movie, you comprehend. So there was a disconnect from day one. And it's in the school systems, it's in the teachers not being able to teach the kids the old-fashioned way. And there was even a guy that was talking, he was a math teacher, and he said that he was from Alabama, and he said that he quit, he did 10 years, and he quit. And he said, no, he don't miss it. And he said that through the math, because he was doing math, he said there was a disconnect with the math. And he said that every year they were coming out with these different techniques to add 2 plus 2. When what happened to just playing 2 plus 2? You know, people got to, to me, it seems like they have to justify their positions and their jobs by them keep changing all these books and different formulas. When you're at a cash register and you're trying to make a sale or you're paying money, whatever, 5 plus 5 is 10. Every day of the week. I don't care how you get to it, 5 plus 5 is 10. Don't be going back saying, okay, now you take the 5, and then you say equal, and then you put a 3, and then you put plus 2. So 5 equals 3 plus 2. No, 3 plus 2 equals 5. Okay, math is math. Why you got to put these kids through all these different sequences? And half the time, the darn teachers don't even know the math themselves. And then you send that stuff home with the parent, and the parent like, wait a minute, you just do it this way. But no, they want you to work it out this way, or it's wrong. But still, 2 plus 2 is 4. 4 plus 4 is 8. So why we gotta go through all this other stuff? Because they'll never use that stuff in the real world. Never. Crazy. Crazy, okay? They dumb down our kids when they change their grading scale. I remember an A used to be a 92 and up. An A used to be a 92 and up. Anything under a 92, a 91 was a B. The grading scale has changed so much. Now, it used to be a 60 was an F. A 60 was an F. Now it's a D. That just lets you know how they've dumbed down our school system. You're lowering our standards. Now you got all these other countries. Talk about Finland. Finland is their education is superb. They talk about in our country how we have dumbed down the school system. Why are we dumbing down our kids? We're supposed to be teaching them to be brighter and brighter, shining stars and have all this, brain smarts, but yet you're dumbing them down. You're not even letting them speak fluently a second language while they're in preschool or Head Start. And you have kids coming from other countries that already come over here with 2 and 3 and 4 different languages, and they have an instant job in translating. And we right here in America, and we don't even know one language, but barely one language. I mean, make it make sense. Now, I told y'all I was gonna be bitten. It made me mad. Now I'm dealing with my grandkids and the school system. But we working on my 9-year-old. We making sure she gonna get what she need, whether she want it or not. My little 4-year-old, man, she loves learning. And at this age, they're a sponge. So you let them she knows how to count 10 in Spanish. She knows what the words look like. She knows her months of the year, her days of the other week. She knows her vowel. She knows the way her words, her letters for the sound. She knows how to count to 100. She knows her 23rd Psalm. She knows verses, different verses from the Bible. She knows her Lord's Prayer. She knows, she's a sponge. She is literally a sponge, and we're feeding it to her. We are pouring all this liquid down, and she's just a sponge, just absorbing it up. She knows how to add. She knows how to subtract. She just turned 4 in January, and the end of January actually, and she's like a sponge. We're feeding it to her, and she's taking it in, and knows all kind of songs, y'all. Bible songs. But she's gonna be prepared. She's not, and I guarantee you, we're not gonna let her fall through nobody crack. No, ma'am. She won't be falling through nobody crack. Grapes are good. That's the problem, Fox. You're right. They put them on medication in a heartbeat. Fox says a lot of the work has to be done at home. Yes. Teachers want to teach the ones that know already. And it takes time for a child who is challenged, and teachers don't have the time now. You know what? Another reason why they don't have the time is, for one, they don't have the helpers in the schools, in the classrooms like they used to. Classes are overcrowded. Teachers are overwhelmed. They're not being 100% supported. And not only that, let me read your comment again, because I had something in my mind when you said that. The teachers want to teach the ones that already know. That's true. Because what they're thinking, the teachers are thinking, I'm just thinking from my mentality. When the kids come to your grade and they already know the stuff that you're teaching them, you know that they paid attention the year before. So they're on level. And then you have some that come to you and you're like, man, this person is really behind. Well, I don't have time to just sit here with this one student because they're like 3 years behind me when I got kids that are right here that needs my help because they're on level or they're above level, but now I'm stifled now because now I got to concentrate on this one person or two, or maybe my half of my class is on 2 levels behind me. So it's like they don't have time for that. It would take up too much time in their day. And when the child comes to that class, that child should be prepared for that class. That teacher before that should have been prepared or should have warned their parents, hey, I really don't think that your child is ready for this next level. Be honest. And parents, be honest too. Because if you know your child's not ready, why let them go and then even get more discouraged because now they're frustrated as a child. They're not learning. They're not understanding why they're not learning this. They're not understanding why the teacher's not helping them or why the teachers can't help them. And they're thinking they're stupid and they're dumb. But just that they didn't get the time they needed to learn the stuff they needed to learn. And the parents didn't do their job at home. Because it's everything. It starts at home. And if you're having problems at home, get them some help. Get them some tutors. If you got to pay a couple extra dollars to them your tutor, that's what you got to do. But you have to set your children up for success, not failure. You want your children to be better than you, period. That's why you raise them. You want your children to be better than you. I talked to my daughter today on FaceTime, y'all. Oh, man. I miss my baby girl. She go through, I think we get to see her on December 17th, and she graduates on December 18th from MP. She's in basic training right now, y'all. I miss her. And my sister Regina came back home, and I've been calling her Tisha. So I'm happy to have my sister back in our town. Because she had been in Florida for about over 3 years, y'all. With all her grandkids. And other stuff she had going on. You know. But, yeah. I appreciate your comments, Fox. I think every child is capable of learning, just need extra attention. Yeah. And if a parent knows their child needs extra attention, get them some help. Get them some help. And don't wait till it's too late. Get them some help. Because once it's too late, the child is already frustrated. And then maybe start acting out because they're frustrated. Because they're thinking, why I'm not learning this. But they were at a disadvantage to begin with. Yes, I am so proud of my babies, y'all. I am. I'm so proud of my babies. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. We done been in 2 movies, y'all. We went and saw, well, we were supposed to have been going to see Freakier Friday. And I saw that on AMC movie site that they had Nobody too. I'm like, Nobody too, but it sounded really interesting. I'm like, well, I ain't never seen Nobody, so let me look and see if there's a Nobody, because I can't see part 2 or part 3 if I haven't seen the first. And I'm like, I watched it on Prime, Amazon Prime. It was so good, y'all. Nobody. So we went to the movies. I said, let's go see Nobody too, because I was hyped up for that. My sister had already seen Nobody off of some app or whatever years ago, she said. So anyway, was it yesterday or day before yesterday? No, it was Friday. We went and saw Freakier Friday, and that was so good. So we seen both of them within a day and a half of each other. We saw both of them. It was really, really good, y'all. Really, really good. So yeah, we've been catching up. That's my movie part. We've been catching up on the movies, and just doing little stuff here and there. And she actually went with me to my mission work that we do on Saturdays, and so she signed up and did the background check, and so now she's gonna be representing her church on Saturdays at the senior citizen assisted living home. So we're excited about that. Yeah, I've been loving, the senior citizen, doing devotion with them, doing bingo with them. We just been having a good time. Enjoying the seniors. There was another death. It's like every time we go back, there's another death, and but God is calling back His angels. But yeah, Hayward, he was one of the guys, and there was only 3 guys. The senior citizen, it was because it's mainly women, but yeah. So Hayward passed, and yeah, that was sad. We found out when we went this past Saturday that he had passed. They didn't release him back to the assisted living because they said that he couldn't take care of himself. So he went home, I think, with one of his kids, and then he ended up passing at home with one of them. But yeah, we come into this world and then we leave this world. It is what it is. Yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, I can't wait to see her person. She has a lot of stuff, y'all. My sister has a lot of stuff. So she got to go back to Florida to get all her stuff out of storage, and then she's going to be bringing it back, and then she's going to have a setup shop. And I told her some places that she can go for the setup shop, but yeah, she's gonna come back and because there's a lot of places, a lot of abandoned places she can go and lease, or set up shop here, and then she can still set up a drop ship and all that kind of stuff to ship her stuff out. But yeah, Fox World. Yeah, so what you been up to? We just been chilling, and it's feeling good out here. Like I say, it's nighttime here. It is 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, and it just today's Sunday, and it's just it's a beautiful day. But yeah, I just had to vent, because I was wondering, am I alone? Is it just my granddaughter? But no, I knew it wasn't just my granddaughter. But it's these kids are our future, and if we're failing them now, I mean, come on now, what is our future gonna look like? What is our future gonna look like? I don't know. So we gotta get with the program. We gotta get with the program. We gotta get with the program, y'all. Literally, get with the program. We gotta work with our kids. And I don't care if you got to push your kids hard. It is what it is. Because you got these foreign countries, honey, they push their kids hard to make sure they're smart and they're learning. They do. They push their kids hard. They don't play by the education, honey. And we shouldn't either. All that emotional, oh, Joe. No, you be hard on them kids. Because, honey, it's a hard world out there. And if you don't prepare them for the hard world, they won't be prepared. They won't be able to handle it. They won't be able to handle themselves. They won't. You have these parents out here and I'm getting on to y'all parents too. Y'all want to protect y'all children about every little thing. Guess what? When they get out there in the real world, they know protection. Who gonna protect them then? It's the real world. So we have to prepare them for the real world. We can't be, oh, it's okay. You don't have to do that. Oh, it's okay. No, honey, you be hard on them. God will whoop your butt. You be hard on them. People say, oh, I don't want to raise my kids like I was raised. But what's wrong with you? I know you turned out a whole lot better than your own kids. Honey, I got my butt whooped. My mom didn't touch us, but my dad was the one that disciplined us, honey. We get our butts whooped. My dad didn't play. We feared our dad, just like we need to be fearing the Lord. Because if you don't do what's right, he going to whoop your butt. Okay? Yes, tough love. Boss says, I have a son and daughter like you. No grands yet, but love the kids. Yes. Keep doing what you are doing. I know how you take up time with the youth. Yes, girl, I do. I'm telling you, every year I got somebody kids. Every year. And I tell people, you come through my doors, you gonna get educated. And I have kids that I affected their life before I even had kids, and they'll tell you, "Oh, I remember Miss Sheila. I remember she used to tell correct. I mean, I'm an English major, so I will correct children. It's okay to correct children because if you don't correct children now, then how are they gonna learn?" So I correct it now, and people tell you I will correct you in a heartbeat. I mean, in a heartbeat. When we around our people, our peeps, we get in a little, we don't talk all proper like we're supposed to. But when you're supposed to be talking a certain way, because I remember one time I was on the phone and I was talking to somebody, and then my niece told me, she says, Auntie Sheila, you don't talk the same as you talk to us as you talk when you're on the phone. That's right, because there's a certain way you're supposed to talk when you talk to certain people, and then there's a way how to talk when you're at home. It is what it is, y'all. You know it. When you're on the phone being professional, you professional. When you at home being relaxed, you at home being relaxed. But don't get it twisted. We still gonna be talking the proper English now. We ain't gonna be doing all that. Bruh. Oh my God. I hate that word, y'all. I literally, oh my goodness. My grandkids do not say that word anymore. We stopped them from watching the whatever show that was on YouTube. Bruh. I literally sat down and probably within 10 to 15 seconds, I heard the word from out of grown folks' mouth. Bruh. I said, oh my God, what is this? What are you watching? Turn it off. What is this? No, ma'am. No, sir. No kids come in this house saying that word. And then we ended up going to my granddaughter's school last year. Well, it was the beginning of this year because school hadn't. Yeah, it was the beginning of this year, y'all. But it was the third grade year. And on the board, the bulletin board or whatever they had in the hallway, guess what the first word was? BRUH. Bruh. I'm like, come on now. Why would you even have this? And it's a minority school, so it's predominantly black school. You got bruh. Oh my God, that's like somebody taking a chalk and taking a nail and going on a chalkboard and like. That's how I feel when I hear that word, y'all. Okay, that's how I feel. No, I'm sorry. No. And then we were at a summer camp, y'all, and this officer woman, she was an officer, military officer, and she was out there with the kids. And I'm telling you, I started to say, can you just not say that word? Because she was sitting there talking. She's a grown woman now, out there playing with the little kids because she had the activity for the little kids. And she said, bruh. I said, Lord have mercy. Coming from a grown woman. And that's what you're saying to these kids. I don't know. That irritates me. Just the word itself. It just, oh my God. Yes, Fox. I hate that word. And my grandkids, when we first got them, all they wanted to listen to was that kind of stuff. YouTube. But it wasn't like, oh, I want to watch Disney or this or that or whatever. They want to watch that reality stuff. So I'm like, okay, I'm thinking they're watching like educational reality stuff. I don't know. I do YouTube, but I don't listen to that kind of stuff. And then I'm telling you, I was sitting at the dining room table, and I heard at least within 10 to 15 seconds the word BRUH by grown folks at least 15 times, at least. And I'm like, oh, no, come on, parents. Y'all gotta have some standards for these kids. You can't just have them listen to anything. Monitor what they're watching. I'm telling you, I do not play, and my husband, we do not play about that. We are all about the Lord, education. You know, kids by law, you have to let them go to school. That's period. God has always been free will. You don't have to make your child learn about the Lord. But why make them learn about school if you can't give them the foundation of what they need to build their life on, which is the Lord? Come on now. The Lord is first. You get that Lord in them, and everything else, they know that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. All that other stuff is going to fall in place. I'm telling you. Don't play with the Lord. Y'all feed y'all kids. Feed them the word. Feed them with the word. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God. The Word was God. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God. The Word was God. In the beginning. Feed them that word. Let them know. Because, honey, these kids now, you got so many kids committing suicide. They don't know that there's something else out there. They think somebody bullying them, that's the end of the world. You got to teach the kids the hardcore truth about life. You can't try and cushion them, because when they get out in the real world, they're going to see, oh, they're going to think it's going to be like mama and daddy, because they always gave me everything I wanted, and they told me, oh, everything's okay, everything is perfect, your whole little world's a bubble. No, honey, your world's not a bubble, because the parents, the same one that protected that child, is not going to be with that child when that child's out in the real world. And they ain't going to know how to handle themselves. And that's why you get the high suicide rate. Because you're not giving them what they need. You're depriving them of what they need is what you're doing. You can't try and give them everything because you didn't have anything. And that's what I've been noticing. The people that didn't have that kind of life, they want to try and give their kids everything. Let your child earn that stuff. Because I noticed I was the same way. But that's one thing about me. I never promised my kids anything. Never promised my kids. Never, ever in my life promised my kids anything. If it was something my child needed or wanted, I would get it for them as a surprise. But if they were being bad or whatever, they didn't get it. If you're not acting the part, you're not getting rewarded. You're not getting rewarded for being ugly. You're not being rewarded for being mean. You're not gonna be rewarded for doing stuff you're not supposed to be doing. You're just not gonna. I don't reward that way. That's why I never tell anybody what I'm gonna do for them. If I do it, and it's out of goodness of my heart. And you will be surprised when I do it. And don't ask if I do say we're gonna do something. You better not ask me a second time, because guess what? It's not going to be done. If I say we're going to go this such and such place, and you say, are we going to go? Are we going to go? I say, you know what? You ask me one more time, we won't be going anywhere. Because kids got to realize, be grateful and be thankful, because we don't have to do anything but give you the basics in life. What we give you that's fruitful is because we love you. And we want the best for you. Period. But honey, what I do not like is a disrespectful child and an unappreciated child. They're my two pet peeves, y'all. I can't be with no disrespectful child. I'm telling you right now. If your child disrespectful, better I be disrespected over here, because I can't deal with no disrespectful child. That's one. And then an unappreciated child. Expect that they won't, and they're gonna get and get and get. Entitled child is what that is. No, I can't deal with that. I cannot. I cannot. Not me. Not Sheila. But you raise your child the way you want to raise them, but just know that child got to get out there in that real world. And have you prepared that child for the real world? That's the question. And then if you didn't, and it's on you. It's on you, and shame on you. Because God gonna whoop your butt, and God gonna whoop that child butt. Because you can't keep that child in a bubble. I know some mamas out there now, they keep that child in that bubble. But guess what? That child is gonna be in that real world. And I hate this because I see so many moms out there, new moms, even dads, and they let their child talk to them any kind of way. Let their child hit them. Let them child, just be, whatever. You better correct that child. Correct that child now. Because that child gonna get there and gonna really embarrass you. And it ain't nothing you gonna be able to do with that child. Period. And y'all parents, y'all know the ones. Y'all know the ones. Them the ones that don't nobody want to keep your kids. Them the ones you can't find babysitters for. Because you got them disrespectful kids. Or they run amok. Or they want to fight. Or they want to tear up stuff. Don't nobody want to keep kids like that. The way your kids act at home is the way they're going to act out in the streets. So you teach them how they act at home. And you teach them how they supposed to act out in the streets. For real. Oh my God, Fox. Yes, some parents think it's cute. And ain't nothing funny about it. Ain't nothing funny about it. Honey, I'm telling you, I will correct in a heartbeat. I'm like, that is not funny. And that's not even cute. Because it's not. And I'm not even going to pretend like it's funny or that it's cute. You hold no, your child fighting you and hitting you. And you think, oh, it's, no, honey. Okay. This is the way we're going to handle it. Let a child hit me. Because the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take that child. And I'm going to pop them so hard. Ooh, that even hurt me, y'all. Ooh. Yeah. It only takes one time for a child to think that they can hit me because it's not funny. They won't do it again. Trust and believe. They won't do it again. Nah, honey, you knew that in the book because ain't nothing funny about that at all. Nothing funny about that at all. Nothing cool about that at all. Nothing cute about that at all. Honey. I don't play the radio. I didn't play the radio with my kids, and I ain't playing the radio with nobody else, child. Okay? Yo, that really hurt me, too. Ooh. That hurt. That hurt. That hurt. Yes, they do. They do. I'm telling you. You have to let kids know where you stand. I don't play with kids. I love kids to death, but I don't play the radio. I don't play the radio when it comes to kids. The kid is here. I'm up here. We don't do that. The kid is here, and I'm here at all times. A child should not think that they can play with me like they play with their friends. Okay? It's a different level. I'm up here. You're going to respect me up here, and you stay down there. Period. I'm sorry. That's the way it is with me. And if a parent don't like it, guess what? Keep your child at home. But I don't play with kids like that. I'm sorry. I don't play with kids like that. Yes, they do. They listen to me, girl. Listen at you. She said, I always say they have good kids in Alabama. Listen, we do the no ma'am, no sir. We do the respect. And it goes a long way. It do. Some people don't like to be called ma'am or sir or whatever, but it's a level of respect. Now, I was born in Manhattan. I'm a Yankee. We just said yes and no. And we were respectful with yes and no. And then we moved to Alabama. And then a whole new culture shock. But I did my yes ma'ams and no ma'ams and yes sirs and no sirs. And when I moved my kids here from Florida, because when I had my kids in Florida, I moved here when they were in second and third grade, so they was 7 and 8 years old. They weren't saying yes ma'am and no ma'am. They were saying yes and no, like I was saying yes and no when I was 7 and 8 years old. But when I moved here in Alabama to help take care of my dad in 2010, I knew the culture shock that they would feel when they come here. So when they came here, the first 2-3 months, I stayed in the school systems with them because I wanted to make sure they were acclimated to saying, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no, sir, because it shows a level of respect, period. We're in the South. I mean, it goes a long way. And then people are like, oh, wow, your son is so polite. He's such a gentleman. Oh, your daughter, she is so respectful. Yes. Be nothing but that, even to this day. So, yeah. We don't play. I don't play with kids. I don't play. I didn't play with my kids. I ain't gonna play with nobody else's child, and they ain't gonna play with me. Period. Period. It is what it is. But you have to put a child in their place. I'm sorry. You have to let them know, hey, I love you, but no, ma'am. I'm the adult at all times. You can't tell me what to do. Sorry. And when a child decides they want to try to tell me what to do, that's when I do the opposite. I say, okay, all right. So we won't be doing that today. Mm-mm. But we have to really knuckle down when it comes to our children. I mean, this world is. I mean, no, I'm not gonna say this world. It's the people in this world so corrupt. Because God made a perfect world. It's these people in this world. Woo, Lord Jesus. I don't know. It's getting a little hot out here, y'all. Did I turn it? Somebody turned the fan off me. Hold on, y'all. What happened to the fan? Let me turn this fan around. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Lord Jesus. No wonder it got hot. What happened? The fan not even on. Huh. Is it on? Is it plugged up? Oh, there we go. Ooh, Lord. That's what I'm talking about. I was wondering, yeah, I've been here the whole time, and then he realized the fan wasn't on. Oh, yeah, it's on now, baby. Oh, yeah. Woo. Fan on now, baby. Oh, I can't believe I've been sitting out here the whole time and the fan wasn't on. Woo. Thank you, Lord Jesus. Woo. Yeah, buddy. I can't believe I was sitting out here all this time and the fan wasn't on. Oh, what's going on? It's on now, baby. Woo, yes. So I won't be holding y'all too much longer, but I just want to bit about the school system, and I'm like, okay, so it wasn't just Alabama. It's a lot more states than Alabama, but it's a shame because what does that say? What does that really say? We're gonna have us a president in about 20 more years that don't even know how to read. Lord Jesus, what is this world coming to? And then you got all these seniors that's in their 70s and 80s and about 90, and they still in office and they still want to run the world. I wonder. I guess so, because we ain't got nobody to fill in the spots. The kids we got that's coming up now, they ain't gonna be able to be no presidents, no scientists. They're gonna be TikTok and social medias, talking all Ebonics and not knowing no proper languages and stuff. That's why they don't care about that's why the school system really don't care about kids learning how to write in cursive or knowing what words are or letters are. And they'll never be able to read the Constitution. Woo, Lord. Mm-mm. It starts at home, y'all. You gotta get it together at home. We gotta prepare our kids at home. For real, we have to prepare our kids at home. Oh, Lord, y'all just don't know how good this air feels on me. Woo! Yes. If y'all can see that wind blowing, man, I'm telling you, it feels so good. It feels so good. I just had the ceiling fan on, but now I turned the fan on over here. It's like, woo. Now I'm getting cold, y'all. So I might have was trying to come down with a little hot flash or something. I don't know. But anyway, I'm not going to hold y'all long. I appreciate you stopping by Fox World and chilling with your girl. I really do. Appreciate your comments. You're my #1 commenter today. Let's see who my top fans were today. Fox World, of course, #1. And then Peaches McDowell, #2. And then Giselle Quinn was #3. All right, y'all. Jasmine was #4. And Saray Darshed. I don't know if those are just letters or if it's actual name, but they came in #5. They give you the top 5, but they only crown the top 3, y'all. So Thank you so much, Fox World, for being my number one today. Yay. Yeah, we got to prepare our kids. We have to prepare our kids. But yeah, you were talking about my lost girl. Yeah, honey, these things are growing. I'm getting ready to I keep these bands on my arm right here, right there. Yeah, I'm getting ready to tie my hair back with that, honey. And then put my hairnet on it. Yeah, buddy. Put my hairnet on it, and that's it. That's all she wrote. Pop it back like that, y'all. But, ooh, that air feels so good. Lord Jesus. I can't believe I've been sitting out here for almost an hour and didn't even have it on. Oh, but it's pit dark, y'all. Y'all want to see how dark it is out here? Hold on, let me show you. See that? Yeah, it's dark out here. It's dark. So, y'all have a beautiful, blessed day. Comment, like, subscribe, and share. Share. But only if you care. So, check out my videos. And y'all have a blessed night. Yeah, it's dark. It's dark. At night. Yeah, a little solar lights on, though. But it's dark. You can't even see the fire pit out there. It's dark. Of course, we have a spotlight that's on the very far side of the house in the back. And then when you go out there, the sensor light comes on. But yeah, it's dark. It's dark. So, have a beautiful, blessed day. And have a blessed, best week. Bye.